abusers. This time he's calling out Shannon Sharpe, the 56-year-old NFL superstar turned podcaster.
Now, what's also important, and I am going to interrupt for a little bit. So, there was rumors that Shannon Sharpe was about to sign this Shannon Sharpe $100 million deal, right? It was supposed to be like almost like a deal that maybe seemingly would be kind of close to what we were hearing is being done with Pat McAfee, right? Where there might be some syndication on the network of like ESPN, but he was going to be allowed to do his thing, and you know what I mean, they're just taking they're taking advantage of this whole Club Shay Shay thing that's really popular, right? Obviously, shit. I'm wondering if Cat Williams sit back and says, "Yo, I know my episode alone increased the value of whatever you would have got at least by like $30 million. Nigga, slimy five, nigga.
$100 million podcast.
You get what I'm saying? But anyway, there was reports that he was nearing a historic $100 million deal for the Club Shay Shay podcast. And then this comes out of the blue, which, by the way, you know, now you guys can kind of, you get the drift. They're going to try to drop these lawsuits to try to embarrass you, to fuck up deals, and it usually comes out at times after they've tried to get you to pay or extort you beforehand, right?
And commentator, brand new lawsuit filed against Shannon Sharpe. We got a copy of it right here. It was filed out in Nevada. We're going to go over it. But Shannon Sharpe, in case you don't know who he is, he played 14 seasons in the NFL with the Denver Broncos, the Baltimore Ravens. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2011. After he retired, he spent time as a sports commentator and analyst. You might remember that he co-hosted Skip and Shannon Undisputed with Skip Bayless from 2016 to 2023. Bayless and his then employer, by the way, Fox Sports, they faced their own accusations of sexual misconduct in a separate filing from earlier this year. We covered it here on Sidebar as well. Now, Sharpe is part of the sports podcast space. He hosts two shows, Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. In fact, you remember his interview with comedian Cat Williams in January 2024 on Club Shay Shay? That helped spark, I should say, a renewed interest in Sean Diddy Combs and his alleged bad behavior at his infamous parties. Got a lot of people talking.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that I was telling you about.
Why they bleep tight hole?
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did.
But now it's Shannon Sharpe who's in the spotlight for his own accusations of abuse. Because on Monday morning, Texas attorney Tony Busby announced on his Instagram that he'd filed a $50 million lawsuit in Nevada court against Sharpe. On Instagram, he wrote in part, "I'm extremely proud to represent..."
Let me read the whole thing. Late last night, the Busby law firm filed a civil lawsuit on behalf of a brave young woman who alleges she was brutally sexually assaulted by the former NFL player, Shannon Sharpe, on multiple occasions. The last incident occurred in January 2025. The lawsuit under the pseudonym Jane Doe lays out a pattern of intimidation, manipulation, and abuse, including allegations of Sharpe repeatedly threatening to choke and slap her. The case seeks $50 million in damages. The case is on file in Department 11, Clark County State Court, Nevada. The county where the alleged conduct occurred. The egregious and concerning facts of the case are set forth in detail in the public filing. I'm extremely proud to represent Jane Doe. It takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing this case in court.
Jane Doe. It takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing this case in court. So, we're going to go over this, but I want to first bring in John Clune, civil attorney who litigates on behalf of survivors of sexual abuse and sexual assault. John, so good to have you. And again, this is kind of breaking news. I didn't have an opportunity.
Hit the thumbs up button. The thumbs up button. We're watching Akademiks reacting to the lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe for assault. Let's get back into it.
Opportunity to fully go through this lawsuit. So you and I are going to break this down in basically real time. When we saw this early this morning, it was a shock to us. What was your initial reaction?
Now, to give a little bit more details, because I did look at some of the allegations in there. So remember when Shannon Sharpe was like, he got exposed for having sex on Instagram Live? And apparently that woman he was having sex with, her name was Michelle. Apparently that's not the woman who's suing him. And apparently he had a situation with another woman who, at least in her assertion, she thought she was serious with him. And she also admits in the lawsuit that she didn't know he was sleeping with other people until he got exposed via that live. So, there's a way to look at this that some people are saying this is a salty woman, probably got her feelings hurt or got cut off somehow from Shannon. And because she doesn't want to just walk away with nothing, she's now making these allegations. Granted, these allegations claim that she was sexually assaulted. By the way, this is his girlfriend, right? She's claiming she was his girlfriend. She's claiming she was sexually assaulted over a span of time where I think, most people would say, if someone sexually assaulted you, why would you stick around and get sexually assaulted like a crap ton more of times? But still that's the case, and, she's going to try to, make that case in court to say, yeah, the reason why I didn't leave is because I was scared or whatever the case is.
My initial reaction was the timing of it, to be honest. Before I read the lawsuit, just the timing of it for it to be filed, on Easter Sunday, that struck me as an unusual move. But then as I went through the lawsuit, the allegations are pretty disturbing. We don't know if they're true or not, but what's written in the complaint is pretty terrible stuff.
John, I have to say, to go after Shannon Sharpe, if you're Tony Busby, after what just happened with Jay-Z. Remember, he filed that lawsuit on behalf of a Jane Doe, a woman who claimed that she was 13 years old back in 2000 and was sexually assaulted by Jay-Z. That lawsuit was dropped, and it came after serious questions of her story and credibility surfaced, both by reporting by NBC News and evidence that was presented by Jay-Z's side. Jay-Z ended up suing this woman, suing Tony Busby as well. So now to go after Shannon Sharpe, another high-profile figure, does that tell you that he feels he has the evidence in this case?
Well, Mr. Busby is a pretty bold mover in this space.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to not be, shy about his decision making. So it could mean that he's got the goods in this particular case, or it could just be, kind of par for the course, and this is how he, handles his high-profile cases.
But and me and I know, you can't just file a frivolous lawsuit. You can't file a lawsuit to harass somebody. You have to believe the law, the facts. There's, there has to be some semblance of facts that you put forward in a complaint that pass a motion to dismiss test. So he has to feel that he might not have all the evidence right now, but he has to feel confident in Jane Doe's account, right? Otherwise, he'd be breaking ethics rules.
Yeah, and the thing with these accounts, like in a sexual assault, just a Jane Doe against an individual.
So to further explain that, there's something called a Rule 11 for attorneys, which means, hey, listen, you have an ethical obligation to not file lawsuits. Because what's happening right now is lawyers are picking up these cases or actually going out to seek clients, right? Like, they're kind of like pocket watching. They're like, who got the bread right now? They find somebody with the bread. Maybe that person is loud, boisterous. Maybe that person, talks about them liking women or has a promiscuous lifestyle, especially someone who's not married. That's why these days I've talked to some people in the industry. They're like, yo, listen. They're like, over the last couple of years, I'm telling you, these are real conversations I've had. They're like, yo, we used to be like, damn, yeah, we're not in the game no more. We're on the sidewalk because we with wife and kids. But they said, after seeing where things are now, the only people safe are people married with wife and kids that don't wildly cheat all the time. Because what's happening now, the single men who are just fucking girl, and it happens that you're probably fucking women who you don't trust that much, but you're just getting a nut off. Them women, if they link up with the right attorney, them chicks start coming at you. Mm-hmm. And that's been happening more and more. So these lawyers are going out to seek some of these women. So I would imagine, again, this is just my speculation, don't have any proof of it, Tony Busby was probably like, yo, who's really getting the bag right now? They probably hear some rumors that Shannon Sharpe's about to get a bag, and they're like, yo, we got to find a woman who has fucked him.
Right.
They find the perfect one. Some chick.
That do make sense. If you would like LeBron, they can't come at LeBron like that because LeBron is always with his wife. So a woman can come at him and say, LeBron did this to me. On what day? He did this on May 5th. Well, bitch, he couldn't have did that on May 5th because he was with me. You know what I'm saying? Well, oh, wait, it was July 5th. Well, he was with me. He's always with his wife. He's with his family all the time, with his friends. So you can't say that, you know what I'm saying, LeBron did anything because he was with me, you know. So, yeah. That makes a lot of sense, though.
Who felt she got cut off, or she got like the short end of the stick. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, and I would hope Shannon Sharpe would even admit, bro, you ain't getting girls because of your looks. You're getting girls because of, you know, your fame, your status, which are things that are valid things to get, you know, women off because women care about them. But when they date you, they don't want to leave high and dry. It's not like, all right, catch you later. All right, this was great, so we're just going to move on. It kind of turns into this vindictive, like, well, I need something to leave. It's like a severance package damn near, right? Anyway.
It's really hard to get rid of that case on a motion to dismiss or even down the road on a motion for summary judgment, because if you have your client who's saying, this is what happened to me, and then in this case, say Mr. Sharpe says, no, that's not what happened, it was very different, that's really a trial issue. That's not something a judge is really going to dismiss on motion. So other types of cases that have more subtle elements to them maybe can get dismissed on motion, but this kind of thing is really hard for a defendant to get rid of in a short trial.
By the way, our content shows just how rampant crime is right now, and that is especially true. Operation business. By the way, before we get into the context of the suit, Jane Doe, so filing under Jane Doe, a pseudonym, typically speaking, how likely is it that she will be able to continue moving forward in this litigation anonymously? I know in the Sean Combs case, several courts have said that the Jane Does and possibly even the John Does have had to come forward and reveal their identities. Talk to me about what the interests, the different factors the court will look at, and whether or not Jane Doe would be able to proceed anonymously.
Yeah, I'd say at best it's 50-50 that she's able to proceed in that fashion. I mean, generally speaking, there's a strong preference in the courts for transparency and open proceedings. That includes using your real name in the lawsuit.
So anyway, y'all, this is DJ Akademiks, King Akademiks. Y'all can check out on his YouTube channel. He's going over the whole case on law and crime. They discussing and stuff, but damn, that messed up. I'm thinking it's a jilted woman. I don't think that Shannon Sharpe did anything to harm anybody. This is a jilted woman, and he just got that $100 million deal, and they gonna take that shit is on hold now. Damn, she messing this man's money up. This is some crazy woman that he was messing with. He tried to cut off, and now she feel like he owe her something. That is what this is all about. And she hit it right when he just about to get his deal. She timed it right when he was about to get his $100 million. Because you know she's been watching him. Oh, I'm going to get his ass. I'm going to get his ass. I'm going to get his ass. Then she saw exactly when he had his deal coming. She went and filed that shit right when his deal came. So now that deal is on. You know that deal. Uh-oh. I want to make sure that the mic is on. That deal is on hold now because of her. That deal is on hold now. If they even want to go through with it now. You know what I'm saying? She done messed up this man. That's why I kind of agree with Akademiks. Like, it's best to really get married, but don't get, you know what I'm saying, get married to somebody that actually gives a shit about you. Like Savannah, LeBron James' girlfriend, or wife, Savannah. She been with him since he was in high school, so it's like she got his back. It's hard to find somebody when you in that status to really got your back for real. Most women that are around you are trying to get something up out of you, trying to set you up, trying to get an opportunity up off of you. Like this woman is, and to tell you, this is a woman of his past that now is trying to. She was too crazy, too clingy, and he cut her off, and now she's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get some money out of his ass." He got that deal coming up, huh? I heard he probably told her about the deal because Shannon Sharpe probably lead with his accomplishments. So I'm about to do this deal. It's gonna be like $100 million, $100 million deal. And it's real hush hush. And he probably told her about it, and then he cut her, and then she got crazy, and he cut her off. Because, you know, when they was on good terms, he probably was, you know, he got to keep her interest. Because he know, you know what I'm saying? Because like Akademiks was saying, it's all about the money. So he know in order to keep her interest, he got to keep having money coming in. So I'm about to do. So he probably was telling her when they was on good terms, I'm about to do this deal. It's gonna be about $100 million podcast deal. That's how Shannon Sharpe talk. And it's real hush hush. And I don't want to say anything about it, but just let you know that I'm gonna get $100 million deal. You know, she's like, oh, you got, you know. But then she got crazy, and Shannon was like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. I'm done with you. And he cut her off, and she's like, I'm gonna get his ass. I'm gonna get his ass, and she getting his ass. Anyway, what y'all think about this video? Leave your comments and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up button.